these indigenous tar children. Okay? I got a bunch of pictures. Them shit is a whole lot. There you go. These are the tar. That's why you saw they paint themselves peach black tar, because they are giving honors to those indigenous ancestors that went to Europe to bring civilization to help them survive. That's what you call what you call the one drop rules, because they didn't have a long life, because these folks, majority of them, they were not originally from the process of humanity. They were splicing, so life was not long, so they were facing a lot of shortening in life. So 5 years, children couldn't pass 5 years. And this is what you call the donor blood, because these are the one that can give blood to absolutely everyone, which is O. America is an O type of a blood. We only carry O and O positive and O negative. That's it. That's the largest concentrations of their blood than any other places in the world, because that comes from us. That's why we went there to give life. Blood fusion was already happening over there. What you see we doing today, as far as giving you blood and using the needles, we've been doing this way back in the day. Okay? A lot of these so-called people in the ancient time, when we went there, they need blood fusion. We were giving them some of our blood so they can survive. It's nothing new today. The blood plasma, all it is ancient stuff. Okay, so after our ancestors settle in Europe and start to build Europe, this is the ship. That is the depiction of the ship that our ancestors went to Europe with. Okay, that is the ship right there. What do you see? You saw our fro. Look at the fro. Look at the guys in the bottom, and look at the symbol in front of the ship. It looked like what we call the hawk, what we call the birdman. Shout out to the big homie, Truth. That is the birdman symbology representing the Imperium. The Imperium have the hawk, have the bird as a symbology of who we are. We are the feathered people, okay? Because the symbology of the bird and the jaguar, those are the most sacred animal in the animal kingdom. The bird represent what we call purity, mercy, angelic. That's why they create the word angel. Those angels come from the bird, people. Come from the bird. That's why everything they depicted as angel got wings there, because they try to depict it Ma'at children. The Ma'at, the indigenous people, the culture people, those that did humanitarian, Koden, that's right. The humanitarian angels, those that will travel the world to sustain life, those that will go around the world to bring civilization and to bring life. Those were considered the angel people. Okay? Now, this rock was this. Look at the writing system. That is the empire of IT. When they told you 1492 of today, this is eventually, they talk about IT, empire. That is the rock they find in Haiti, and also depicted the voyage. When they told you Columbus come to IT, this is the voyage that our ancestors depicted on the rock when we went to that area with help. Okay? That is the voyage. Now look at the people, because if you think our ancestors put the whole truth in our faces, look at the style of the people. Look at the head. You saw all of them had a little froze in there. All of them have a little fro. Okay, now let me show you exactly. I told you these folks, they got to tell you the truth, but they're going to manipulate the truth. They cannot allow to give it to you all the way, but they're going to give you some of it. Okay, they give you some of that truth, not the whole truth. But now in this depiction, because this is why I always tell these folks out here arguing with me. I don't argue. I bring those facts. Now, all you got to do is bring yours. Now, look at the little heads of all of these guys in the boat moving that joint. They all have a fro. But this represent us going to them in Europe. This is when these represent the shipment, the ship that was going to bring the help all over. Okay? And look at the same people they depicted. Look at the picture. What do you see? These are the same little froze that you saw in the freaking rock. Look at the people that went to Europe. Now the only difference is how they're showing you all of this look like. Okay? Now look at who is out there. This is the same people with the little fro on the rock. Those are the same one you're looking at here. Okay? That's how I just put an N in their little crap. That's how I just put an N in them. Because they don't have nothing to prove. We're the only one that proves absolutely everything that we are saying. But all they can do is just keep talking. Talking, no facts. But anyway, this is not my drawing. These are drawing that they have in Library of Congress themselves. So look at the people. Froze, and look at the headdress. The same you find in the Wall of Egypt. It's just to show you once again, that's the same depiction that you saw in the Wall of Egypt. That's the same depiction you find here in America, because this is the same people that have been doing the same thing from the very ancient time. They're still doing the same thing till today. And what did happen? The big homie Diak in the building. What happens from there? This is when now we got betrayed. Okay, our people got betrayed, and this is the culture you call pirates culture started. This is when the piracy systems started. And this is when now you end up getting in history the term or the name La Nina, La Penta, La Santa Maria. This representing the name they trying to give you about our ship they hijacked. Okay? These were our ships. It was never ship coming from Europe to here. These were our indigenous ship that went to bring help to them, just like you saw the Red Cross today, gonna bring resources and help for places that's under distress. That's the same thing we did for them. We use our shipments, we bring help, and guess what? We got backstabbed. They stole our equipment, they stole our ship, and we got stranded over there. We got stuck in Europe in captivity. This is the story of slavery they were talking about, but done in reverse. Okay? Done in reverse. They tell you that we was enslaved here. Nah, we were in slavery in Europe. We got stuck in Europe. We built Europe and they kept us in captivity in Europe. This is why you find they do this. These are our indigenous ancestors that they are celebrating in Europe, because we were the one that built Europe, and we were the Moors. Just M-U-U-R-S, not M-O-O-R. That's why they celebrate till today, because they are giving homage to those not only saved those people, those that actually civilize and bring civilization to Europe. Okay? So, after they stole our ship, they invade America. This is when now they invaded us. They invaded us by using our technology. What was this technology? Our ships. Okay? Our ships was the technology they used to invade us. If we see their asses coming from distance, we will sunk their ship. And this is the only way they infiltrate, because we thought that was us coming back home. That's how they come back here, because we thought these were our people coming back from the humanitarian work. And guess what? When those ship packed up, when the ship opened, these were the outsiders, barbarians. These were the barbars coming back here. They were the one unaliving our people. This is how we get caught off guard, and that's what ended up happens. Now, who were these groups of people coming here? Like I said, the nomads, exactly. Groups of them here. Day. lot of them also within those ships. They hijacked them ships because we went to a humanitarian all over Europe. So those were also hijacked them ships. And this was a perfect opportunity for them to go to the new world, to go to the heavens on earth. Because we were severely advanced. Exactly. The Trojan horse. The Trojan babies. Exactly. That is what you call the Trojan horse. Because America was what they call heavens. So they all comes together to invade the heavens. America was in the biblical format to them. They always said this was not only the land of the honey and milk, but this was El Dorado. This is the angel land. Okay? Technology was everywhere. These buildings you call Tartaria was already built. What you call Tartaria, majority of them was already built. While you have these people living in huts and people living in caves, we have an advanced civilization on here. And this is why a lot of them took this opportunity to jump on this venture. They all come in up in here as this invasion taking place. And the Ottoman Empire have the most diverse group of soldiers than any other military that ever exists. Okay? When the Ottoman come here, they bring the Mongols with them. They bring the real African Moors, and they bring white tea because they come from the same area. Both come from what you call Africa, to be exact, the Middle East. What you call the Middle East today, they all come from the same region, and they get the Mongols, and all of them come together and invade the Imperium. Okay? And that's how it happens. And when the Empire got invaded, okay? When the Empire got invaded, a lot of our ancestors, they have to flee these cities, okay? They have to flee all of these cities, and this is where they go to what we call the military forts. They call it the Star Forts. So they all move within the Star Forts for protections, okay? That's why they call a region in Haiti Port-au-Prince, the port where they have all the elite family members for refuge. They were having refuge because these folks were invaded by the invaders. So the port of those princes and princesses, they have to go there to bring all the elite members to hide, because that area was what we call a Star Fort. It was a military area. That's why I have the most military force than any other places in the world. That's why you call Haiti today. But this is nothing but in an environment to survive. This is what we call a refuge spot or a last resort for the elite members. They went to hide there to preserve the Imperium. Okay? This is what happens, folks. Give me 1 second. Let me show you something right quick. Where is them picture now? That thing is having me. Tap the screen, y'all. Tap the screen. Need to run out here. We're about to get to the final notions so people get to understand what ended up happening. Okay? Nah, man, this picture trying to hide from me. I can't believe it. Boy, nah. Oh, hell no. I done passed where I think this shit was. Anyway, let me show some Ottomans. Okay? These are your Ottomans. They invade many areas that these buildings and temples and sacred places were. This is in Mexico. They invade, they bring a lot of Camino Chinos with them from that invasions. These are the Ottoman that bring all of them here. Okay? These are the Moors of today. These are the Assyrian children. These are the children of the exiled ones. These are the Zebulon tribal people. These are your God tribal people. These are the ones as we trying to decipher off today. And they are a diverse group, and they also bring their workforce with them. Now the question is this: what is the workforce? The same thing their ancestors did in the past when they genetically modified people for work. They did the same thing with a workforce. These are the people you want to call indentured servants. They engineer other groups by splicing and also using their DNA. These were the same also tradition of their ancestors. They carried the same ancient tradition by bringing their indentured servant here to work the land they stole from us. These were the Slavs, the Slavics. These were the people they bought here as indentured servants. This is the story they don't want to let you to know. Did you understand? This is why the Islamic war, you will find most whitey people is always in opposition with Islam. It's always in opposition with the Arab League. It's always an Islam war versus Christians war because they know what happens in the past. These Muslims was mistreated those people more than any other groups. Matter of fact, they found freedom because of us. We were the one that set them free here while they were taken advantage of all over Europe. Until the indigenous ancestors went to Europe, things start to change. Do you understand? A lot of people don't know about that knowledge. They found true freedom here in America. In the hands of these Muslims, they were slaves. That's where the name Slavs come from. Oh yeah, this knowledge is 4 trillion. It's 4 trillion. These are the lost territory by the Imperium. Everything you saw, Lulu's in the business. These are the Imperium territory after the invasion. Okay? All of the red spot was lost territory. And also all of those red spot, those are the advanced cities that they take over. Now, what is these advanced cities? What you call Tataria. Okay? Your advanced cities with Tataria. These are the places that all of our ancestors has to run away, and where they go? To the Caribbean. Now ask yourself this: what is the closest spot to these places? Look, take a good look out of these regions that we lost. What is the next best thing to these regions? The Caribbean. This is why you find people in the Caribbean today, because our ancestors is not from the Caribbean. We were, the elite family were fled to the Caribbean for survival and also to fight back. We all come from the mainland. All of us. Okay? So, this is where we went. We went there. Jalulus, Tuta, appreciate it. We went there to hide, and that's why they called that place. Look at Haiti. Haiti was not red. Haiti was not colonized. Haiti was never colonized because this was the Imperium leaders. They all fled there. They all come from region like New Orleans. They come from New York. They come from Pennsylvania. They come from Atlanta. They come from Georgia. They all come from all of these regions you know of the state today. And they all fled for refuge because this was invasions and war. And that's where they go, to the headquarters. The military headquarters. It's called IT today. We want to call it Haiti today. But this was surrounded with military forts. The most military forts in the entire world can put together. This is where this place was. That's why it would never colonize. And this is why they call this the today time capital, Port of Prince. These were the Port of Emperor. They told you, which even they tell you, that's another part of the story they never want to say. The Emperor of China fled to Haiti when he was facing persecution. Why you went there? Why the emperor of China fled to Haiti for refuge one time? Why you heard they told you, even now they want to tell you, oh, the princess of Greece was coming to Haiti. No, they don't tell you how long this place was known for the refuge for people or the elite family, because this is what it was in the time of invasion and war. All the elite went out there for refuge. This was a bunker for the elite family. Let me say it again. This was the bunker for the elite families. That's why it's called Port-au-Prince today. Represent the children, the elite family, the warrior, the nobilities. They all gonna go to that port because this is the only way they can ensure safety from invasions. And guess what? After the war, many wars start to be organizing from that time. Many uprisings start to be taking place. And all of these places you saw in red, these were lost territories. So that's when now they establish what we call their plantation system. Now, what is their plantation? Your cotton, okay? That's when now you find a lot of our people become what? POW, because not all of them were elite. Not all of them have resource, so a lot of them stay behind. And they become what we call POWs. So this is what they want to call slave today, but their real name were POWs, and they were the one they captured and forced to work the land alongside of these indentured servant. Now, let me say this one more time. These indentured servant was coming all over Europe and East Asia, to be exact. A lot of them come from East Asia, known as what we call today Slovakia, Ukraine, Russia. A lot of so-called Siberians is eventually come from Russia. That's where most of the workforce was bringing here by the Ottoman Empire. So we as indigenous ancestors, indigenous people, we were forced to teach these indentured servant how to cultivate the land. We were forced to teach them how to cultivate the land. And this is why they told you the slave process, the slavery timeline was 2 to 3 years of survival. Yes, because that's the time it would take for us to teach them how to cultivate the land fully. And this one they told you they were sending slaves to different plantations. Yes. Now ask yourself, how a foreign person gonna send other foreign person to other plantation if you don't know them? We were the one they were sending to other plantation because all of these plantation is ours. These were our freaking crop. So we were the only one that can tell them where to go, where other ones was located. That's why they were sending us to different places. Okay? Because these were our crop. These were our plantation they stole. So when they told you it was a slave farm, that's exactly what it was. Slave farm. They literally was having babies with indentured servant to make sure that these children can work the land after we teach them. So they need a manpower. They need people to work the land for them. So these indentured servant were concubine for most of them. So they keep having babies with them so these babies can actually inherit the land back. And this is when now a lot of us was running away. They want to call us Seminole. When you said Seminole, it mean run away. Seminole today, they want to call it a tribe, but that's just pathetic once again. It's just to show you those that want to call themselves those names and thinking they can big themselves up, acting like we indigenous. No, it mean run away. So it proved to you it was never y'all, because y'all don't even know the story. So since those Ottoman was speaking Panyol, today we call it Spanish, Seminole, that's what it mean, run away. So those runaway were these indigenous ancestors that know exactly where to go. They know where to go because this is our land. We have cousins around the block. We have cousins in Mississippi. We have cousins in Georgia. We have cousins in Louisiana. All over the southern part was our freaking land, so we know where to go. Shit, you cannot listen now. If I know where to go. So those indentured servant, a lot of them were good friends with us, because we were working the land with them. We were the one teaching them how to cultivate the land, so we developed friendship with a lot of them. So they were the one stealing keys and different things and set us free. So a lot of us become runaway because of them. And this is when the resistance start to happen. Okay? This is where the resistance start to happen. A lot of us went to nearby tribes and we start to build up our unifications, and that's what you call the many wars that happen in the southern part of America. That's what they don't tell you. And guess what? In Europe, our indigenous in Europe, they themselves start a movement. And that movement they call the Free Revolution movement. Let me say this again. And that movement called the Freeman Revolution. The free people to become free, away from servitude, away from captivity. And they called this movement the French Revolution. God damn it. Okay? Our Europeans up in Europe, they call the revolution the French Revolution, because French mean free. That means they're going to free themselves within this revolution. Okay? This is what they don't tell you. This is how they manipulated you with a different story, because they got to hide it. And this is the banner that the Freeman Revolution start. This is the Freeman Revolution start. That is the French Revolution flag. Okay? This flag ain't got absolutely nothing to do with the people that you saw today in France. It have absolutely nothing to do with the people that you think you know. This flag was done with those working people, these tar people. See the tar. You see the bandana? These were the people that was working, the slaves. Those they keep over there. Those that they trapped over there. Our indigenous ancestors that got trapped over there. We have an uprising and we win. Okay? When we win, we have a movement. And that movement called Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint Louverture mean all the saints gonna open the doorway for freedom. Because we need an opening to be free. Because we've been in captivity in Europe for too long and we got to come back home. So when they told you the French went from Europe to come to America, it's because America is where they from. Let me say it again. When they told you the French come from Europe and come to America, because they all come from America. These are the descendant of these indigenous ancestors that went to a humanitarian work in Europe and stay in captivity ever since. And years upon years later, those children come back home. And when they come back home, they come back as affranchis. That means those that cross the land to come to for freedom. Okay? And then when they come here, they get the help from the Imperium. The Imperium give them what? It give them ships. It give them guns. It give them manpower. Because what you call some region in the Caribbean, this is where you find most of these cannon. Those manufacturing of cannon was happening to the Caribbean. Area like Jamaica, area like La Navaz in Haiti and Cuba. Most of the Caribbean was like a military fortress. The gunpowder was found in La Navaz, a little island by Haiti. This land is entirely made by gunpowder. This is why Haiti was the biggest military, because this Imperium was the biggest military the world. Nobody defeated the Imperium. It was to infiltration they lost. Infiltration. No one defeat the Imperium. Ever. And this is why everyone was coming to military help. They told you Simon Bolivar, which is another movement. Simon Bolivar, that means Simon gonna open another avenue to free the people. Okay? You have Miranda. All of these folks, they told you, all over South America. These were people receiving help so we can get back our freaking land that been confiscated by these invaders. Today they restole the story. Now they tell you French as a new person, but the French was us. The French was our indigenous ancestors that come back home. And when you said French, it mean free people. Miko, what up, baby? What's good? Okay, that's right. 30 million Haitians, what you call American, what you call indigenous American people. We are one freaking people from the Empire of Haiti. One people. History and Reconstruction era make you think we are different. All of us in the Caribbean are the same freaking family, the same bloodline, but since we got hijacked and manipulated, they rewrite history, they make us think we are different. Same people. Okay? Now, there are people that wonder, after we done taken over all of our land back, and some, because we take over our territory, these what we call these Ottoman invaders. Now let me show you some more Ottomans out here. Okay, because they look just like me and you. Okay, when you saw people out here in our community constantly find ways to fight each other, constantly throwing fingers at each other to tell you you're not that, go back. Oh, you not. We know who they are. Okay, that's them right there. These are the Turks Ottoman. You see that? They are not one. This is not one of us. Not every black folks is the same. Not every skin folks is skin folk out here. Well, shit. A lot of them come here, they're looking like us. Understand that? Especially in North Carolina, and I done show you the map, folks. I show you most of the South was taken over by these people. These people are Africans. They are Africans. The same descendant of the exile one. These are the children of the exile one coming back for more war, coming back for payback. Okay? This is a coming back for payback. They still carry the genetics of resentment. See? All of these territories were occupied by these folks. Let me show you some more of them. Who are in these plantations? Let me show you them. Okay? That's them right there. South Carolina have a bunch of them. These were the people, after they stole our land, they confiscate our crop, they celebrate on our food source. That's what you get Thanksgiving today. The consumptions of turkey. They name our sacred animal after them. Turkey. These were the Turks. And the Turkey today, what you call Turkey today, was the headquarters of the Ottoman group of people. History is far than what you think it is. History is far from what you think it is. I did. Okay. Operating in our land and also working in unison. And today we are confused. And when you saw certain division among us, somebody gonna start point fingers because this person come from the Caribbeans and thinking these are the descendant of these people. That's them right there. And these plantation. Okay? So the spirit of the FBA come from these people here. That's who they are. These are invaders. These are the invaders. The children of these invaders. The black children of these invaders. You saw the whitey woman? They brought them here. Now let me show you more of these Ottoman. Let me show you them. For some people that think it's a game. They're still here. Let me show you some stuff. So a lot of us don't get it. Stuff is not that as simple as you think. Where you at? All right, give me 1 second. Okay. These are the white people as indentured servant that was working these cotton field. They won't let you know that. They find freedom here. The empire of Haiti were the one that end this in the entire world, but more prominently here in America. A lot of them are Irish. Most of these Irish were spreading other part. Yes, a lot of them are Irish and Slavics, but mostly Slavics. Mostly Slavs. Mostly Slavs. They find freedom here. And a lot of them, they were helping us get this movement going. They help us this war. A lot of them, most of them joined the war with us. Okay? Most of them joined the war with us. And that's how we actually successfully win against the Ottoman. Because these folks, they were what we call the workforce. So the workforce turned against them. So they actually amplify our military men's, and it was easy walk. It was an easy walk. That's how they have land today, because it was a part of giving them something in return. Because of that. Okay? These are here come your Ottomans. They come from all walks of life. All walks of life. And you find that the same group, you will find them in the Middle East. You'll find black, you'll find all white, you'll find mixed. That's where they come from. That's where they come from. That's the children of the Anunnakis. These are the Turks, the Ottomans. Man, listen, that's them today. Now, this is why you will find, let me show you again. That's them right there. This is the little Santa Claus hat, okay? That's why you celebrate Santa, because this is the all culture from the Ottomans. These are the Santa's hats, and this is why we put this in our sigil. We hang this in the tree of liberty. It means freedom from these folks. That's them right there. That's your little Santa hats. Because America was a gift. They stole this gift from us. And this is why they have their highest institutions. Because it's the same people. They make they don't let you know this is the same people. The whitey people come from them. But different groups of whitey people. But that's them right there. What you saw? Look at the hat. These are your Shriners. These are your Islam. That's them. These are level. This is what you call class within the Ottoman nobility. This is not us. This is why they persecuted us. Everybody know Edgar Hoover, who Edgar Hoover was going after. This is not Masons. Today they mix everything because everything been infiltrated, but this is not Masonic at all. But I can understand they would said this is Mason. because everything is upside down and everything is just one huge mix. But that's who they are. These are the same Ottoman people. The same group of people operates. It's still a continental war for them. They know. So, within wars, let me show you this. This is the sacred bird. Today they want to call it the Roman Empire. No. What you call the Roman Empire is IT Empire. Let me say it again. This was the IT Empire. Today they call it Roman Empire. Okay? This is what it was. This is the ancient indigenous birdman, the sacred bird, the phoenix, the beacon of light. This is where they get it from. But today they're going to tell you a Roman Empire. No. Let me show you the bird in a different timeline within the Imperium so you understand. After we defeated the Empire, after we defeat the Ottomans, we take over all of these territories, including Europe. This is when the black nobility become all over Europe. Let me show you this once again. Okay? This is the family they remove completely out of the order. See, they told you we have 12 tribes. We used to have 13. But that one is the Inga tribe. This is the Amarukan tribe, where we really come from, before they flipped it. This is our tribe here. Okay? And now, this is where the culture Christians come from. When you said you're Catholic, it mean the people build those cathedrals. You worshipped those buildings. Let me say it again. Catholic mean you worship the cathedrals. That's why you went and worship inside of them till today. Let me say it again. When you said Catholic, you definitely someone that worship those sacred buildings. What are these sacred buildings? They are what you call Tateria. Tateria is those sacred buildings. The energy building, the healing building, big homie in the house. That is those Catholic, the cathedrals. This was Tateria civilization. So people used to get inside of these buildings, they get healed from absolutely all sort of illness. Because this building was sacred building. So when you said exactly your voodoo temple, before they kicked us out and hijacked it, and then they rewrite history and make us think we never have absolutely nothing. No, these are resonance building. Just like our ancient ancestors used to do inside of those pyramids. They used to play the drum. They used to have the bamboo playing inside of those pyramid, because the pyramid is actually the beginning of those cathedrals. That's the first blueprint of those cathedrals. Let me show you something right quick while I'm in here. Let me give you this. Let me show you something. Where you at? Man, don't tell me I passed that. Man, I go too fast. I don't even remember. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. think I might leave that alone. It'll take me too long. There you go. There you go. This is what used to happen inside of those pyramids. This is a frequency chamber. Our ancestors played the drum inside of it, and they played the bamboo, the same thing we still do today in Haiti. We play the drum, and we play the bamboo. Tamboo, still happening. Somebody said red African. The word African didn't even exist. You're not in this conversation. This conversation is way past you. Okay? Because the African is actually the Arab. All of these Arab is Afrikaners. People like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is true African. He's Afrikaners. All of them come from Africa. Okay? They were created in Africa. That's what true African is. Okay? You just don't know that. We way past you, bruh. We done lost you. We in light years ahead of you. You're still in this little primitive vocabulary. It's not your fault. But anyway, so that's what a Christian is. A cathedral. So now, this is the coat of arms of the Imperium. What you see here is the 13 bloodline, the 13 family they removed. The family lineage, one of the, because they have 12 tribes today, but that was the 13 tribe, the tribe, the Inga. The Inga tribe, the Ika tribe, they remove out of our affair. Because that tribe is when that gave power. Power can only come from this tribe. Okay? Power come only from this tribe. This was the sacred and the most advanced tribe in the planet. This is the Ameringa. The Inga tribe, they remove it. And look at the cross. She hold the cross because the system of the cross culture come from here. The cross representing life. Before they go what? They do the anti-life. The cross represent life, and they're giving you the opposite of it by putting someone in there. And that someone is the last emperor of the world. The last person they put on the cross represent the opposite of life. The cross represent life. They crucifix someone in there. It represent the anti-life. And that was the emperor of the world, Jacques the First. And they did that. The supreme commander of the world. he write it before. See, I told you they're going to tell you the truth, but they're going to make sure they manipulate it. They never tell you that. The only one telling you he was the supreme because he come from the supreme mother. The mother that they all bow down in secrecy. The mother that they go into the little home, the little places to bow down to. They call it the Black Madonna. They call it Notre Dame. That is her on top. America is a matriarchal civilization. Power comes from the sacred mother. She gave birth to those sacred children, immaculate conception children. Those that only the supernatural will be able to give birth to, because only them can fight. Only those children will be able to see those demons. Only those children will be able to know what to do against those demonic forces on the goddamn planet. And that was your Jesus of today. Now, look at the second row. The very last row, the second row, the last one on the right. And that is the beginning of the black nobility in Europe. This is King Charles. Look at the second row. To be exact, because I don't count the first one. You will see the beginning, the third row, the last one on the right. You will see a man with a crown. And this represents the beginning of black nobility in Europe. This is when our children coming back from Europe and they come back to the Imperium. Let me say it again. This is when our children coming back from Europe and they come back home. And after the war, we make sure that all of those territory that our people built, we are the one ruling them now, because we were the one building them in the first place. So now this become the black nobility, because the empire now done defeated the Ottomans, so we take over all of the world. This was Tartaria. Okay? And that is today, this what his name is, Charles Quinto, known as King Charles. This is where the culture of king started. Kings are governors for life. Let me say it again. Kings are governors for life. Okay? They are governors. But emperors or empresses are the king of kings. That is the difference. So, yes, they lead to the service. So again, this is where you get King Charles. That is the dynasty of Europe nobility. What they told you they told you he was an emperor. He was not an emperor. He was the king of what you call Roman. When they tell you king, once again, they told you Roman Empire. No, the Roman Empire is IT Empire. They switch it because they do not want you to know. Now, for people that wonder, this is the symbol, this is the coat of arms of the Incas Empire. You see? Same coat of arms of what you know today as IT. Look at the bird. Look at the bird on the left. That is the bird of the Roman Empire bird, because we were the one in charge. This was the Inca Empire. This is the empire of IT right there. You're not ready for this. This is what you got today in Haiti as the so-called coat of arms. That is the original coat of arms will start. Okay? And look at the left. That is what you found into the so-called Roman Empire. Okay? Now, let me done show you even more. This is what you find. Okay? That is the bird that you find in the IT Empire known as the Inca Empire today. And they told you Desaline, that means the bloodline, the Inca army. You see how they put Jesus in the cross in the middle? This represent Isa, Ingayaya. They sacrifice and then take over all of these land that belong to the Imperium. After his assassination, this is all of these land they confiscate after the demise of the emperor of the world. Now, who is the emperor of the world? Let me show you the emperor of the world, the one that was unifying the world as it is. Let me show it to you. If you happens to be here first time, okay? They sell you this as the emperor of the world. Today, they told you his name is Dessalines and Jacques, yes, Jacques the First, but he was the emperor of the world. Now ask yourself why they chose this picture they gave you. Because they want to hide history. They cannot allow you to know who he was. Why showing the world who exactly he is? No, it's not good, because they will eventually not only figure this shit out, but too many artifacts out there, so we in trouble. So once again, look at this picture clearly. I blow this up because you saw how they show you YT, coming in the sky as the God that's going to give so-called black African Haitians freedom. Because, that's the story they gave you, right? Because they got to give it to you like that. You see YT coming in the sky, yeah, all that, right? This is the fabrication drawing, because the real drawing, they don't want you to deal with it. They cannot accept the real drawing. Because not only the real drawing depicted the exact, because you see, all they do is mimicking what the truth was, but they twisted with their own little games. So I bring this up, I blow it because I want to show you. Look at the face, though. Look at the hats. Look at what's